Patrick O'Donnell wakes up at 4:47 a.m., 13 minutes before his alarm, because his body stopped trusting technology years ago. He's 38, broad-shouldered, with hands that know machinery better than they know rest. The kind of man who checks the oil in his truck every Sunday and keeps a folded 20 in his sock drawer for emergencies. Detroit-born, Detroit-raised, Detroit loyal, even when the city keeps punching him in the teeth. It's November 2008. The economy isn't just bad, it's apocalyptic. Patrick works quality control at Kellerman Auto Parts, a plant that supplies brake assemblies to Ford and GM. 6 months ago, the floor had 200 workers. Now it's down to 140 and shrinking. Every Friday feels like a funeral waiting to happen. Names get called into HR. Lockers get emptied. Grown men cry in the parking lot because they don't know how to tell their wives. Patrick hasn't been called yet, but he feels the target on his back every single day. He slides out of bed carefully, trying not to wake Brittany. She's curled on her side, still wearing her EMS polo from last night's shift. Came home at 2 a.m., collapsed without showering, and Patrick covered her with the blanket she kicked off in her sleep. That's love in this house. Not flowers, not poems. Just covering her when she's cold and keeping the coffee ready when she wakes. Brittany is 34, a paramedic with Detroit EMS, and she's been running on fumes for 3 years straight. 12-hour shifts, double shifts, overtime that never actually shows up on the paycheck because the city keeps restructuring the budget. She's seen car accidents, overdoses, heart attacks, and one time a man who shot himself in front of his kids. She doesn't talk about that one. Patrick doesn't ask. They have 2 children. Danny is 12, obsessed with basketball and suspicious of everything. Lily is 8, sweet and quiet, the kind of kid who notices when her parents are pretending to be okay. Patrick moves through the dark house like a ghost. He makes coffee, cheap stuff, store brand, and sets out Brittany's favorite mug with a sticky note. Pancakes in the fridge. I love you. He doesn't write I love you because he's romantic. He writes it because he's scared. Scared that one day she'll wake up and realize she married a man who can't give her anything except stability. And in 2008, stability feels like a joke. The drive to Kellerman takes 22 minutes. Patrick's truck is a 2001 Ford F-150 with rust on the wheel wells and a heater that works maybe 60% of the time. He keeps the radio on AM news, not because he likes it, but because silence makes him think too much. The news is always the same. Banks failing, automakers begging for bailouts, unemployment climbing like a fever that won't break. Patrick parks in his usual spot, 3rd row, near the side entrance, and that's when he sees it. A folded envelope tucked under his windshield wiper. He frowns. Nobody leaves notes on cars here. The lot has cameras. Security does rounds. This isn't the kind of place where people mess around. He pulls the envelope free. It's cream-colored, high quality, the kind of paper that costs money. There's no name on the outside, but the seal is already broken. Someone opened it before placing it here. Inside is an invitation. The Detroit United Workers Charity Gala, November 15th. Black tie optional, hosted by the Regional Labor Council and several local unions. Patrick knows this event. Brittany has talked about it for years. One of those fancy nights downtown where union families get to pretend they're important. She's always wanted to go, but tickets cost $80 each, and $80 is groceries for a week. He stares at the invitation. He didn't request this. He didn't sign up for anything. And then he sees the sticky note attached to the back. Enjoy your big night. No signature, no explanation. Patrick's stomach tightens. Someone has been in his business. Someone knows about Brittany's wish. Someone wanted him to find this and wanted him to know they were watching. He scans the parking lot, empty except for early arrivals. The security booth is lit but unoccupied. Frank probably went for coffee. Patrick folds the invitation carefully and slips it into his jacket. He doesn't throw it away. He doesn't ignore it. He files it in his mind under things that don't add up. Because Patrick O'Donnell learned something a long time ago. When something feels wrong, it usually is. The plant floor is loud, hot, and smells like machine oil and burnt metal. Patrick clocks in at 5:58 a.m., 2 minutes early like always, and heads to his station near the brake assembly line. Quality control means checking every 4th unit off the line, measuring tolerances, flagging defects, writing reports that nobody reads until something goes wrong. It's not glamorous work, but Patrick takes pride in it. Every break that passes his inspection goes into a car. Every car carries a family. One missed defect could mean a dead kid on I-94. He doesn't take that lightly. Around 7 a.m., Devin Price shows up. Devin is 33, a line supervisor who got promoted 2 years ago because his uncle knows someone in management. He's good-looking in a slick car salesman way, always smiling, always friendly, always hiding something behind his teeth. Patrick used to like Devin. They grabbed beers together a few times, talked about the Lions, complained about management, did the normal coworker bonding thing. That changed 6 weeks ago. Patrick filed a safety report about improper storage of hydraulic fluid near the assembly stations. Standard procedure. He saw a hazard, he reported it. But the report triggered an inspection, and the inspection revealed that Devin had been cutting corners to hit production quotas. Devin got written up, his bonus got docked, and suddenly the friendly smiles turned into something colder. Now Devin is cordial on the surface but bitter underneath. He says hello, but his eyes don't match his mouth. He asks about the kids, but the questions feel like inventory checks. Patrick can feel the resentment radiating off him like heat from a furnace. "Morning, Patrick." Devin stops by his station, coffee in hand. "You look tired, man. Brittany keeping you up?" The question sounds innocent. It isn't. "She had a late shift," Patrick says carefully. "You know how it is." "I do." Devin nods slowly. "My wife Vanessa works retail. Different hours, but same exhaustion. We barely see each other some weeks." Patrick doesn't respond. He's learned that Devin fishes for information the way some people fish for compliments, constantly, subtly, always looking for leverage. "Hey, you hear about that charity gala thing?" Devin asks, too casually. "The union one downtown." Patrick's grip tightens on his clipboard. "Heard of it. Fancy stuff, expensive." Devin sips his coffee. "You thinking about going? Maybe. You should. Brittany would love it." Devin smiles, a real smile this time, which makes it worse. "A woman like that deserves a night out. She works hard. She should feel special." Patrick meets his eyes. "She is special." "Of course she is." Devin claps him on the shoulder. "Just saying, don't let the grind make you forget that. Women notice when they're being taken for granted." He walks away before Patrick can respond. Patrick stands there, pulse ticking faster than it should. Devin mentioned Brittany by name, mentioned the gala, mentioned taking her for granted. How did Devin know about the invitation? Patrick never told anyone. Unless Devin already knew it was coming. Patrick pulls the folded envelope from his jacket and looks at it again. The broken seal, the sticky note, the too perfect timing. Someone set this up. Someone wanted him to find it, and Patrick is starting to think he knows who. That evening, Patrick does something he hasn't done in months. He comes home early. Brittany is awake, sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of tea and a stack of bills. Her hair is pulled back and there are dark circles under her eyes. She looks up when he walks in, surprised. "You're home before 7, she says. "Did someone die?" "Not yet." He kisses her forehead. "Where are the kids?" "Danny's at Marcus's house. Lily's doing homework in her room." She gestures at the bills. "I'm trying to figure out if we can afford Christmas this year." Patrick sits across from her. He doesn't mention the invitation yet. He just watches her. The way she chews her lip when she's stressed, the way her fingers tap against the mug. He loves this woman. He's loved her since he was 23 and she was 19, working the counter at a diner near the old GM plant. She smiled at him and something inside him clicked into place and never clicked out again. 15 years later, that love is quieter. Less fireworks, more foundation, but it's still there, solid, steady, unshakable. At least he thought it was. "Britt," he says. "I want to ask you something." She looks up. "That sounds serious." "It's not bad." He reaches into his jacket and pulls out the envelope. "Do you know what this is?" She takes it, frowning, opens it, reads the invitation. Her face changes. The exhaustion melts into something brighter, hope maybe, or longing. "The charity gala," she whispers. "Patrick, this is, how did you get this?" "Found it on my truck this morning." "Found it?" She looks confused. "What do you mean, found it?" "Someone left it, no name, no explanation." He pauses. "There was a note, 'Enjoy your big night.'" Brittany's excitement dims slightly. "That's weird." "Yeah, do you think it's real?" "Looks real to me." Patrick takes the invitation back. "Here's what I'm thinking. I've been saving cash, small amounts from overtime, enough for 2 tickets. I was going to surprise you for your birthday." Her eyes widen. "Patrick, Someone beat me to the punch, but the way I see it, the invitation's here, the money's here, and you've wanted this for years. He reaches across the table and takes her hand. One night, just us. No kids, no stress, no bills. You deserve that. Brittany's eyes fill with tears, not sad tears, the other kind, the kind that means something got through. You've been saving money, she asks. For me. For us, she squeezes his hand. I don't care about fancy parties, Patrick, I care about you. I know, he smiles, but you also care about fancy parties, and that's okay. She laughs, a real laugh, the kind he hasn't heard in weeks. Okay. Okay, yes, let's do it. Patrick nods. But even as he smiles, a small voice in the back of his mind keeps whispering. Someone set this up. Someone wanted this to happen, and Patrick still doesn't know why. Later that night, after the kids are asleep, Patrick sits on the back porch with a beer he doesn't really want. The neighborhood is quiet. A few houses down, old Mr. Henderson is walking his dog, a fat beagle named Biscuit who moves like he's got cement in his legs. Across the street, the Rodriguez family has their TV on too loud blue light flickering through their curtains. Normal night, normal life. But Patrick can't shake the feeling that something is about to break. He thinks about Devin's smile, the way he mentioned Brittany. The way he knew about the gala before Patrick told anyone. He thinks about the invitation, the broken seal, the sticky note, the careful placement under his windshield wiper. He thinks about Brittany's face when she saw the tickets, the hope in her eyes. The way she said yes, like it was the first time anyone had offered her something good in years. And he wonders, is this a gift? Or is it a trap? Patrick finishes his beer, crushes the can, stands up and looks at the stars, faint through the Detroit haze, but still there. Whatever this is, he'll figure it out. He always does. But deep down, in a place he doesn't like to visit, Patrick O'Donnell has a terrible feeling that he's already playing a game he doesn't understand. And someone else wrote the rules. 3 days before the gala, Patrick does something unusual. He takes Brittany to lunch. Not a fancy lunch, just the diner on Michigan Avenue where they met 15 years ago. The place has changed owners twice since then, and the food isn't as good, but the booth by the window is still there. Their booth. The one where Patrick first worked up the courage to ask for her number. Brittany is surprised when he picks her up from the EMS station. She's still in uniform, hair pulled back, badge clipped to her chest. What's this about? She asks, climbing into his truck. Can't a husband take his wife to lunch? A husband can, she buckles her seatbelt. But you never do, so what's going on? Patrick smiles. I have something for you. At the diner, they order coffee and split a plate of fries, their old tradition. Brittany relaxes for the first time in weeks. The tension leaves her shoulders, her smile reaches her eyes. This is nice, she says. I forgot what nice feels like. That's the problem. Patrick reaches into his jacket and pulls out a small envelope. We've been surviving so long, we forgot how to live. She takes the envelope, opens it. Inside are 2 tickets to the Detroit United Workers Charity Gala. Official, printed, real. Brittany stares at them, her hands tremble slightly. Patrick, she whispers, you actually bought these? Told you I was saving. But this is, she looks at him, eyes wet. This is too much. No, he takes her hand. This is exactly enough. She leans across the table and kisses him. A real kiss, not the quick pecks they've been trading for months. This one has weight, history, the memory of 2 people who used to be young and stupid and completely in love. One night, she says against his lips. Just us. Just us, he agrees. For a moment, everything feels right. The diner, the fries, the woman he married. But Patrick can't quite forget the invitation on his windshield, the broken seal, the sticky note. Someone wanted this to happen, and Patrick still doesn't know who. That afternoon, Brittany calls her best friend. Kimberly Hayes is 32, a teacher at one of Detroit's roughest middle schools. She's sharp, cynical, and protective of Brittany in a way that sometimes borders on aggressive. They've been friends since high school, back when Brittany was the pretty one and Kimberly was the smart one, and neither of them knew how much those labels would cost them later. You're going to the gala, Kimberly's voice crackles through Brittany's phone. That fancy union thing downtown? Patrick surprised me with tickets. Brittany can't hide the excitement in her voice. Kim, I've wanted this for years. A real night out, dressing up, feeling like somebody instead of just a paramedic who saves lives every day. Kimberly's tone sharpens. Britt, you are somebody, you don't need a fancy party to prove it. I know that, Brittany sighs, but can't I just enjoy something for once? There's a pause. When Kimberly speaks again, her voice is softer. Of course you can, I'm sorry, She hesitates. These events aren't always what they seem. What do you mean? I mean they're not about charity, they're about power games, people showing off, men with connections making deals, women being paraded around like trophies. Kimberly exhales. I've heard stories, Britt, about what happens after the official party ends. Brittany laughs, but it sounds forced. You're being paranoid. Maybe just be careful, okay? Keep your guard up and stick close to Patrick. I always do. Do you? The question hangs in the air, loaded with something Brittany doesn't want to examine. Yes, she says firmly, I do. But after she hangs up, Brittany stares at her phone for a long moment. Kimberly's words echo in her head. Power games, men with connections, women being paraded around. She shakes it off. Kimberly is just being overprotective, that's what she does. Still, a small seed of doubt plants itself in Brittany's chest, and she can't quite make it go away. Meanwhile, Patrick is having a different conversation. He's at the firehouse on Gratiot Avenue, sitting across from his closest friend, Cole Ramirez. Cole is 36, built like a linebacker with a shaved head and a calm presence that makes people feel safe. He's been a Detroit firefighter for 12 years, and he's the only person Patrick trusts completely outside his family. So someone just left an invitation on your truck, Cole frowns. No name, no explanation, just a sticky note. Enjoy your big night. Patrick sips his coffee. Feels wrong, doesn't it? Feels weird, at least. Cole leans back. Who would do that? I've got a theory. Patrick hesitates. You know Devin Price, line supervisor at my plant. The guy you got written up. That's him. Patrick nods slowly. Day after I found the invitation, Devin asks me about the gala, mentions Brittany by name, acts like he already knows I'm planning to go. Cole's eyes narrow. You think he's setting you up? I don't know, maybe. Patrick stares at his hands. What I do know is that Devin's been acting different since the safety report, watching me, asking questions like he's collecting information. Information for what? That's what I can't figure out. Patrick looks up. But I've got a bad feeling, Cole. This whole thing, the invitation, the timing, the way everything's falling into place, it feels staged. Cole is quiet for a moment, then he leans forward. Listen to me, Patrick. I've known you for 10 years. You're not paranoid. You're not crazy. If something feels off, it probably is. He pauses. But here's what I want you to remember. Brittany loves you. Whatever game someone is trying to play, that's the foundation. Don't forget it. Patrick nods. I won't. Good. Cole claps him on the shoulder. Now go take your wife to that fancy party, have a good time, and if Devin Price shows up acting weird, you call me. Patrick smiles, a real smile for the first time in days. Thanks, Cole. That's what friends are for. The day before the gala, Brittany runs into Aaron Wallace at the EMS station. Aaron is 30, a dispatcher who works the 911 lines. She's got red hair, a sharp tongue, and a reputation for knowing everyone's business before they know it themselves. She and Brittany aren't close friends exactly, but they've worked together long enough to share the kind of dark humor that only first responders understand. Heard you're going to the big charity thing, Aaron says, leaning against the dispatch desk. Living the high life. Patrick surprised me with tickets. Brittany smiles. It's our first real night out in years. That's sweet. Aaron's expression shifts slightly. Just watch out for the regulars, okay? Regulars? There's this guy who shows up at every union event. Brian Caldwell says he's does private security. Aaron makes air quotes. Always helping women get home safe, if you know what I mean. Brittany frowns. What do you mean? I mean he's charming, real charming. The kind of charming that makes you forget you have a husband. Aaron shrugs. Maybe I'm being unfair, but I've seen too many marriages fall apart after one of these parties. Women get swept off their feet by smooth talkers, and the next thing you know, everything's ruined. Brittany's stomach tightens. I'm not going to get swept off my feet. Good, Aaron nods. Because your husband seems like one of the good ones, don't throw that away for a guy who knows all the right words. She walks away, leaving Brittany standing alone in the break room. Brian Caldwell, private security. Charming. Brittany tells herself it doesn't matter, she's going with Patrick. They're going to have a beautiful night together. Nothing is going to come between them. But somewhere in the back of her mind, Aaron's warning starts to take root. That evening, Patrick and Brittany have dinner with the kids. It's nothing special. Spaghetti with jarred sauce, garlic bread from a tube, salad from a bag. But they sit together at the table, all four of them, and for once, nobody's looking at a phone or rushing to be somewhere else. Danny talks about basketball practice. Lily shows off a drawing she made at school. Patrick listens to everything, nodding, asking questions, making each kid feel like the most important person in the room. Brittany watches him, and something warm spreads through her chest. This man, this good, steady, reliable man, he's not exciting, he's not glamorous, he doesn't know all the right words or make grand, romantic gestures. But he shows up every single day, he shows up. "Mom," Lily tugs her sleeve. "Are you okay?" Brittany blinks. "I'm fine, sweetie, just thinking." About what? About how lucky I am, she wants to say. About how I almost forgot what matters. But before she can answer, her phone buzzes on the counter. She ignores it, keeps eating, focuses on her family. Later, after the kids are in bed, she checks the message. It's from an unknown number. "Looking forward to tomorrow night. It's going to be unforgettable." No signature, no explanation. Brittany stares at the screen. Her heart beats faster than it should. She doesn't tell Patrick about the message. She tells herself it's nothing, probably a wrong number or some promotional thing from the gala organizers. But deep down, she knows it's not nothing, and she doesn't delete it. The next morning, Patrick is in the kitchen when Devin Price shows up at his front door. It's Saturday. The gala is tonight. Patrick isn't expecting visitors. He opens the door slowly. Devin stands on the porch, hands in his pockets, wearing that same too-friendly smile. "Hey, Patrick, got a minute? What are you doing here? Just wanted to wish you luck tonight." Devin's eyes flick past Patrick into the house. "Big event, important night, want to make sure you're ready." Patrick's jaw tightens. "How do you know where I live? Company directory?" Devin shrugs. "Relax, man. I'm not stalking you. Showing up at someone's house unannounced is pretty close." "Fair point." Devin steps back slightly. "Look, I know things have been weird between us since the safety report. I get it, you were doing your job, no hard feelings." Patrick doesn't believe him, not for a second. "What do you really want, Devin?" Devin's smile fades, just for a moment. Then it's back, brighter than before. "I want to make sure tonight goes well for you," he says. "That's all. Brittany deserves a good time." "Don't mention my wife's name." Devin raises his hands. "Easy, I'm just saying she works hard. You both do. Enjoy the night. Don't let anything ruin it." He turns and walks back to his car, a silver Chevy Malibu parked at the curb. Before he gets in, he looks back. "Oh, and Patrick, what time are you leaving tonight?" Patrick's blood runs cold. He never told Devin about the gala, he never mentioned the time. But Devin knows, somehow Devin knows everything. Patrick watches the Malibu drive away. His hands are shaking. He goes back inside and locks the door, checks the windows, checks on Brittany, who's still sleeping. Something is very, very wrong. And tonight, Patrick has a feeling he's going to find out exactly what. The Detroit United Workers Charity Gala is held at the Westin Book Cadillac, a grand old hotel downtown that spent decades abandoned before being restored to something approaching its former glory. Patrick and Brittany arrive at 7:15 p.m. The lobby is crowded with men in suits and women in gowns, union officials, local politicians, business owners, and the assorted spouses who come along for the free champagne. Brittany looks stunning. She's wearing a deep blue dress she found at a thrift store 3 years ago and never had a reason to wear. Her hair is down, curling softly around her shoulders. Her makeup is simple but elegant, just enough to make her eyes shine. Patrick can't stop looking at her. "You're beautiful," he says as they walk through the lobby. She smiles. "You've said that 4 times since we left the house." "I'll say it 4 more. They check in at the registration table, collect their name tags, and enter the ballroom. The space is gorgeous. Crystal chandeliers hang from the ceiling. Round tables are draped in white cloth, each one decorated with flower arrangements and candles. A jazz quartet plays softly in the corner. Waiters circulate with trays of champagne and hors d'oeuvres. Brittany's eyes widen. "Patrick, this is amazing." He squeezes her hand. "You deserve it." She turns to him, and for a moment everything else fades away. The noise, the crowd, the expensive decorations, just the two of them standing together. "Thank you," she whispers, "for this, for everything." Patrick kisses her forehead. "Come on, let's find our table." The first hour goes perfectly. They find their seats, make small talk with the other couples at their table, and enjoy the appetizers. Patrick tells a story about a brake assembly disaster at the plant. Brittany talks about a particularly crazy ambulance call. People laugh. The conversation flows. For a while, Patrick forgets about the mysterious invitation, about Devin's unannounced visit, about the bad feeling that's been gnawing at him for days. He watches Brittany smile and laugh, and he remembers why he fell in love with her. Then everything starts to shift. It begins subtly. A waiter approaches their table and whispers something to Brittany. She frowns, stands up, and follows him toward the edge of the ballroom. Patrick watches her go. Where's she headed? They said there's a seating issue, the woman next to him explains. Something about the table assignments. Patrick waits 5 minutes, 10. Brittany doesn't come back. He stands up and goes looking for her. He finds her near the back of the ballroom, standing by a different table. She's talking to a man Patrick doesn't recognize. The man is tall, maybe late 30s, with dark hair swept back from his forehead and a smile that looks practiced. He's wearing a suit that probably costs more than Patrick's truck, and he's standing close to Brittany, closer than a stranger should stand. Patrick approaches slowly. Absolutely heroic, the man is saying. I mean, running toward danger instead of away from it. That takes courage most people don't have. Brittany laughs, a sound Patrick knows well. It's her real laugh, the one that comes from genuine pleasure, not the polite laugh she gives strangers. It's just my job, she says. It's more than that. The man leans in slightly. It's a calling, and it takes a special kind of person to answer it. Patrick clears his throat. Brittany turns, startled. Patrick, there you are. Here I am. He looks at the man. I don't think we've met. The man extends his hand smoothly. Brian Caldwell, I do private security for some of the union officials here, also run a small pie firm on the side. Patrick shakes his hand. Brian's grip is firm, his eye contact steady. Security and investigation, Patrick says. Busy man. I like to stay occupied. Brian smiles. Your wife was just telling me about her work. Fascinating stuff. Detroit paramedics are the unsung heroes of this city. She's good at what she does. Patrick puts his arm around Brittany's waist. Babe, we should get back to our table. They're about to start the speeches. Actually, there's been a mix-up. Brian gestures at the table behind him. The registration system had your wife assigned to this table. They're asking her to sit here for the dinner portion. Patrick frowns. We bought tickets together. We should be sitting together. I completely agree. Brian nods sympathetically. I mentioned it to the staff, but they say the seating is locked in for catering purposes, something about dietary restrictions and place cards. He shrugs. Bureaucracy, you know how it is. Brittany looks between the two men. It's just for dinner, Patrick. I'm sure we can find each other after. I don't like it. It's fine. She squeezes his hand. Go back to our table. I'll come find you as soon as the speeches are done. Patrick wants to argue, wants to insist. But Brittany is looking at him with a mixture of reassurance and something else, annoyance maybe. Like he's being overprotective, he swallows his objections. Okay, he says, but I'm coming to find you the second dessert is served. Deal, she kisses his cheek. I love you. Love you too. Patrick walks back to his original table, but as he crosses the ballroom, he glances over his shoulder. Brian is pulling out a chair for Brittany. She's smiling at him, that real smile again. And Patrick realizes with a cold clarity that this was never a mistake. Someone arranged for this to happen. Someone planned for Brittany to be separated from him, planned for her to sit next to Brian Caldwell. And Patrick has a terrible feeling that he knows exactly who. He scans the ballroom. Dozens of faces, none familiar. Union officials he's never met. Businessmen he'll never know. And then he sees him, Devin Price, standing near the bar, holding a glass of wine, watching Patrick with a small smile on his face. Their eyes meet. Devin raises his glass in a silent toast. Patrick's hands ball into fists. He wants to cross the room, grab Devin by the collar, and demand answers, but he doesn't, because that's exactly what Devin wants. A scene, a confrontation. Evidence that Patrick is unstable, paranoid, dangerous, so Patrick does nothing. He sits back down at his table, he makes small talk, he eats his salad, and he watches. For the next 90 minutes, Patrick barely takes his eyes off Brittany's table. He watches Brian lean in to whisper something, watches Brittany laugh, watches her touch Brian's arm when she makes a point. It's innocent, probably. Two adults having a conversation at a fancy dinner, but something about it makes Patrick's stomach churn. At one point, Devin passes by Patrick's table. He pauses just for a second. Great event, huh? Devin says. Your wife seems to be enjoying herself. Patrick doesn't respond. Devin's smile widens. Relax, buddy, it's just a party. He walks away. Patrick's jaw is clenched so tight his teeth ache. Across the room, Brittany is having the time of her life. She doesn't mean for it to happen. She came here with Patrick, loves Patrick, wants to spend the evening with Patrick. But Brian Caldwell is charming, dangerously charming. He asks about her work and he actually listens. He asks about her kids and he remembers their names. He tells her she's brave and he seems to mean it. When was the last time someone told her she was brave? Patrick loves her. She knows that, but Patrick's love is quiet, steady. The kind of love that shows up in packed lunches and fixed appliances and covered heating bills. Brian's attention is different. It's bright. It's intoxicating. It makes her feel seen in a way she hasn't felt in years. You deserve more than this city gives you, Brian says during the second course. All these people in their fancy clothes, they don't know what you go through, the things you see, the lives you save. It's just part of the job, Brittany says, but the words feel hollow. It's more than that. Brian's eyes are warm, sincere. You're extraordinary, Brittany. And anyone who doesn't see that is blind. She feels heat rise to her cheeks. You don't even know me. I know enough. He leans back, giving her space. I know you work 12-hour shifts. I know you have 2 kids you're raising in a city that doesn't care about working families. I know your husband is a good man who probably doesn't tell you often enough how amazing you are. Brittany doesn't respond, because the last part is true and she doesn't want to admit it. I'm not trying to cause trouble, Brian says softly. I just think you should know your worth, that's all. She looks across the room. Patrick is watching her. Even from this distance, she can see the tension in his shoulders. She should go to him, end this conversation, remember why she's here. But she doesn't move. Thank you, she says to Brian. That's very kind. He smiles. I mean every word. Near the end of dinner, Brittany excuses herself to go to the bathroom. She's washing her hands when her phone buzzes, a text from the same unknown number as before. You look beautiful tonight. Blue is your color. Her heart races. She looks around the bathroom, empty. Another buzz. Don't worry, I'm not watching, just admiring from afar. See you soon. Brittany stares at the screen. Her hands are trembling. She should tell Patrick. She should show him the messages. She deletes them instead. I don't know why, she tells herself. It's nothing. It's harmless. But as she walks back to her table, she can't shake the feeling that something has shifted. Something she won't be able to take back. Patrick finds her during dessert. Dance with me, he says, offering his hand. Brittany hesitates. Brian is in the middle of a story about a case he worked in New York, something involving a corrupt businessman and a secret account. Go ahead, Brian says graciously. I'll be here when you get back. Patrick's eyes flash, but he doesn't respond. He just leads Brittany to the dance floor. They sway together to a slow jazz standard. For a moment, it almost feels normal. Are you having a good time? Patrick asks. Yes. Brittany rests her head on his shoulder. Thank you for this. You've barely looked at me all night. She pulls back slightly. What? You've been at that other table, talking to that guy. Patrick's voice is calm, but there's an edge to it. Every time I looked over, you were laughing, smiling, touching his arm. Patrick, it's just conversation. He's friendly. He's interested in you. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous. Patrick meets her eyes. I know what interest looks like, and I know when something doesn't add up. That seating mix-up wasn't an accident. Brittany stiffens. What are you saying? I'm saying someone arranged for this to happen. The invitation on my windshield, the broken seal, the sticky note. He pauses. Devin is here. He was watching me all night, smiling like he knows something I don't. Devin from your plant, Brittany frowns. Patrick, you're being paranoid. Am I? They've stopped dancing. Other couples swirl around them, but Patrick and Brittany are frozen in place. I'm not doing anything wrong, Brittany says quietly. I'm just talking to people, being social. Is that a crime? No, Patrick's voice softens. But I've been watching you all night, Britt, and you weren't just being polite. You were enjoying it, enjoying him. Brittany doesn't respond. Because he's right and she knows it. I want to go home, Patrick says. Together now. It's not even 10 o'clock. I don't care, I want to leave. Brittany looks across the room. Brian is watching them, that same warm smile on his face. She looks back at Patrick, her husband, the father of her children. The man who's been holding their family together with nothing but work ethic and stubbornness. Okay, she says finally. Let's go. They walk toward the exit. Brittany doesn't look back, but something has changed between them, something neither of them knows how to name. And as they drive home through the dark Detroit streets, the silence in the truck is louder than anything either of them could say. The drive home takes 37 minutes. Neither of them speaks for the first 20. Patrick keeps his eyes on the road. His hands grip the wheel at 10 and 2. His jaw is tight. Brittany stares out the passenger window. The city passes by liquor stores, churches, abandoned houses, gas stations, the geography of struggle. Finally, she breaks the silence. Are you going to say something, or are we just going to sit here? What do you want me to say? I don't know, something, anything. She turns to face him. You've been giving me the silent treatment for 20 minutes. Patrick exhales slowly. I'm trying to figure out how to have this conversation without turning it into a fight. Then just say what you're thinking. He's quiet for another long moment. Then, who was he? Who was who? The guy at the table, Brian Caldwell. Patrick's voice is steady. Who is he to you? Brittany's heart skips. He's nobody. I just met him tonight. You were talking to him for 2 hours. Because they made me sit at his table. I told you it was a mix-up. It wasn't a mix-up. Patrick glances at her. I watched Devin Price show up at that event. Devin, the guy who's been holding a grudge against me for 6 weeks. He was there, Britt, watching, smiling like he planned the whole thing. Brittany shakes her head. You're being paranoid. Just because Devin was at the same event doesn't mean. He came to our house yesterday. She freezes. What? Saturday morning, you were asleep. Devin showed up at our front door, asked what time we were leaving for the gala. Patrick's grip tightens on the wheel. I never told him we were going. I never told anyone. Brittany doesn't respond. Her mind is racing. And now tonight, Patrick continues, some random seating error puts you at a table with a charming pie who just happens to know exactly what to say to make you feel special. He shakes his head. That's not coincidence. That's a setup. A setup for what? I don't know yet. Patrick pulls into their driveway and kills the engine. But I know one thing. Whatever game is being played, I'm not going to lose. They sit in the dark truck. The house is quiet. The kids are at Patrick's mom's place for the night. Patrick, Brittany says softly, nothing happened. I know. I didn't do anything wrong. I know that too. He turns to face her. But I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Okay. Did you give him your number? The question hangs in the air. Brittany feels her pulse quicken. No, she says. Patrick studies her face, looking for tells, looking for truth. Okay, he says finally. I believe you. They go inside. The house is dark and quiet. Brittany kicks off her heels and pads into the kitchen. Patrick hangs his jacket by the door and loosens his tie. For a moment, they move around each other like strangers. The distance between them feels physical, tangible. I'm going to make tea, Brittany says. Do you want some? No, I'm going to take a shower. He disappears down the hall. Brittany stands alone in the kitchen, staring at the kettle. Her phone buzzes in her purse. She hesitates. Then she reaches in and pulls it out. A text from Brian Caldwell. It was wonderful meeting you tonight. Hope we can talk again soon. Brittany's stomach drops. She never gave him her number. She's certain of it. She remembers making a conscious decision not to. So how does he have it? She stares at the message. Her thumb hovers over the delete button, but she doesn't delete it. She doesn't respond either. She just stands there reading the words over and over. It was wonderful meeting you tonight. Hope we can talk again soon. Something warm unfurls in her chest. Something dangerous. She shoves the phone back in her purse and busies herself with the tea. Later, when Patrick comes out of the shower, Brittany is sitting on the couch with her tea. He sits in the armchair across from her. Not next to her, across. The distance isn't accidental. I want to set some boundaries, he says quietly. Brittany looks up. Boundaries? For the future, for situations like tonight. Patrick leans forward. We're a team, Britt. We've always been a team, but tonight felt different. Tonight felt like you were somewhere I couldn't reach. I was right there in the same room. No. You were at a different table, having a different experience with a different man. Patrick's voice is calm but firm, and I don't want that to happen again. Brittany sets down her tea. What exactly are you saying? I'm saying we need rules, no separate rides, no after-parties, no exchanging numbers with strangers who happen to be charming. He pauses. And if either of us feels uncomfortable, we leave. Together, no arguments. Brittany bristles. That sounds like you don't trust me. It's not about trust, it's about protection. Patrick meets her eyes. The world is full of people who want to take things from us, our time, our attention, our marriage. I'm not going to let that happen. Patrick, I didn't do anything wrong. I know. And I'm not punishing you, I'm just being clear about what I need. Brittany stares at him, her husband. The man she's known for half her life. Part of her wants to argue, to tell him he's being controlling, possessive, paranoid, but another part of her, a quiet, honest part, knows he's right. She was enjoying Brian's attention. She was letting herself be swept up in the feeling of being seen. And that's dangerous, more dangerous than she wants to admit. Okay, she says finally. Boundaries, I can do that. Patrick nods. Thank you. The tension in the room eases slightly, but it doesn't disappear entirely. Brittany finishes her tea and stands up. I'm going to bed. I'll be there in a minute. She walks down the hall. As she passes the entryway, she sees her purse on the counter. Her phone is inside. Brian's message is waiting. She keeps walking. In the bedroom, Brittany changes into her pajamas and climbs under the covers. Patrick joins her a few minutes later. He smells like soap and toothpaste. Familiar, safe. They lie in the dark, not touching. I'm sorry if I ruined your night, Patrick says quietly. You didn't. I know I can be intense sometimes, protective. He pauses. It's just, I've worked so hard to build this life, our family, our home, and sometimes it feels like everything is trying to tear it apart. Brittany turns to face him. In the dim light, she can see the worry lines on his forehead, the gray creeping into his temples. This man has carried so much weight for so long, and he's never complained, never asked for anything in return. I love you, she says. You know that, right? I know. Tonight was just... She searches for the right words. I've been so tired, so worn down, and for a few hours someone made me feel special, that's all it was. Patrick is quiet for a moment. You are special, he says finally. I know I don't say it enough. I know I get caught up in bills and work and just trying to keep everything together. But you're the most important person in my life, Britt. You and the kids. She reaches for his hand in the dark. We're okay, she says. We're going to be okay. Patrick doesn't respond, but he squeezes her hand. They fall asleep like that, connected but with a gulf between them that neither quite knows how to bridge. At 2:37 a.m., Brittany's phone buzzes. She wakes instantly. Years of paramedic work have trained her to respond to sounds in the night. Patrick is asleep beside her, breathing evenly. She slips out of bed and finds her phone in the kitchen. Another message from Brian. Can't stop thinking about our conversation. You're remarkable. Brittany's heart pounds. She should delete it. She should block the number. She should wake Patrick and tell him everything. Instead, she types a response. Thank you, that's very kind. She hits send before she can change her mind. The response comes immediately. I meant what I said. You deserve to be appreciated. If your husband doesn't see what he has, that's his loss. Brittany stares at the screen. Her hands are shaking. This is wrong. She knows it's wrong. She types anyway. He sees me. He's a good man. Brian's reply. I'm sure he is, but good and present aren't the same thing. Brittany doesn't respond to that. She stands in the dark kitchen for a long time, reading and rereading the messages. Finally, she turns off her phone and goes back to bed. Patrick hasn't moved. She curls up next to him, but she doesn't touch him. Something has shifted between them, something she doesn't fully understand yet. But as she lies there, staring at the ceiling, Brittany realizes that she's already started building a wall, and Patrick is on the other side of it. The next morning, Patrick wakes early. He makes coffee, checks on the kids, back from grandma's and still asleep, and starts planning his week. Brittany joins him around 8 a.m. She's wearing her EMS uniform, her hair pulled back. I have a shift today, she says. Double. On Sunday, they're short-staffed. Erin called in sick. She pours herself a cup of coffee. I won't be home until late, Patrick nods. Okay, I'll handle dinner. She kisses him on the cheek, a quick automatic gesture, and grabs her bag. Britt, Patrick says. She pauses at the door. Yeah, about last night, the boundaries thing, he hesitates. I didn't mean to come across as controlling, I know, she smiles, a real smile, but tired. We're good, Patrick, I promise. She leaves. Patrick stands in the kitchen, listening to her car pull out of the driveway. He believes her. He wants to believe her, but something is nagging at him, a feeling he can't quite name. He walks over to the counter where Brittany's purse usually sits. It's gone. She took it with her. Patrick frowns. Brittany always leaves her good purse at home when she's working. She carries a small bag with just her wallet and phone. Today she took the whole thing. He tells himself it's nothing, just a change in routine, but the feeling persists. Something is different, and Patrick is starting to realize he doesn't know how to fix it. That afternoon, while the kids are watching TV, Patrick hears Brittany's phone buzz. She left her personal phone on the charger in the bedroom. She took her work phone instead. Patrick hesitates. He's never been the type to snoop, never been the jealous husband who checks messages and demands explanations. But the phone is right there, buzzing, waiting. He walks past it, goes to the bathroom, splashes water on his face. When he comes back, the phone is still buzzing. He picks it up. The screen shows a notification. Brian Caldwell, tomorrow's lunch, I can make it. Patrick's blood turns to ice. He opens the messages, sees the full conversation from last night. The back and forth, Brittany's responses. She lied, she said she didn't give him her number, but she's been texting him, flirting with him, making plans. Patrick's hands are shaking. He wants to throw the phone against the wall, wants to drive to the EMS station and confront Brittany right there, but he doesn't. He takes a deep breath, puts the phone back on the charger, walks out of the bedroom. He goes to the kitchen and starts making lunch for the kids. His movements are mechanical, robotic, but his mind is racing. She lied to me. After 15 years of marriage. After everything we've built together, she looked me in the eyes and lied. That night, Brittany comes home late. The kids are asleep. Patrick is sitting at the kitchen table with a cold cup of coffee. Hey, she says, long day, I'm exhausted. I bet. She pauses at his tone. Is everything okay? Patrick looks at her, his wife, the woman he's loved since he was 23 years old. He can still see the girl she used to be, bright-eyed, hopeful, full of dreams that Detroit kept crushing year after year. He loves her. God help him, he still loves her, but he can't unsee what he saw. I want to ask you something, he says quietly, and I need you to tell me the truth. Brittany's face goes pale. Okay. Last night at the gala. You told me you didn't give Brian Caldwell your number. I didn't. Don't. Patrick's voice is calm but hard. I saw the messages, Britt, on your phone. Brittany stands frozen. Her mouth opens, but no sound comes out. Tomorrow's lunch, I can make it. Patrick recites the words from memory. You're remarkable. Can't stop thinking about our conversation. Brittany's eyes fill with tears. Patrick, I can explain. Can you? He stands up slowly. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you lied to my face. It looks like you've been texting another man behind my back. It looks like our marriage is breaking apart and I didn't even know it was happening. Nothing happened. That's not the point, Patrick's voice cracks. The point is you lied. You looked me in the eyes and you lied, and now I don't know what else you've been lying about. Brittany wipes her eyes. I'm sorry, I don't know why I do. Patrick's voice is flat. You're tired, you're unhappy, you've been feeling invisible for years, and suddenly someone comes along and makes you feel special again. He pauses. I understand that, I really do. But that doesn't make it okay. I know. Do you? He stares at her. Because tomorrow you're having lunch with him, that's what the message said. Tomorrow's lunch, I can make it. Brittany doesn't deny it. Fun is fine, Patrick says quietly. Secret numbers aren't. Brittany sinks into a chair. She looks smaller somehow, diminished. I made a mistake, she whispers. I got caught up in something. It didn't mean anything. Everything means something. Patrick sits back down across from her. Every choice we make has consequences. You taught me that. Remember, when we first got married and I was thinking about taking that job in Toledo? She nods slowly. You said the decisions we make when we're tired are the ones that define us. He meets her eyes. Well, Britt, you're tired, and you made a decision, and now we both have to live with it. They sit in silence for a long time. Finally, Brittany speaks. What do you want me to do? I want you to cancel the lunch. Okay. And I want you to be honest with me from now on. No more lies, no more secrets, no more mysterious text messages in the middle of the night. I will, I promise. Patrick nods slowly. Good. Brittany reaches for his hand. Can we still fix this? Patrick looks at her, his wife, his partner, the mother of his children. He loves her. Despite everything, he loves her. But he's not sure if love is enough anymore. I don't know, he says honestly, but I'm willing to try. Brittany squeezes his hand. Her fingers are cold. Thank you, she whispers. They sit together in the kitchen, two people trying to hold on to something that's already started slipping away. Later that night, Patrick can't sleep. He lies in bed, staring at the ceiling. Brittany is beside him, but she feels miles away. Around midnight, he hears her get up. She thinks he's asleep. He listens to her footsteps pad down the hall, hears her pick up her phone. And then, very softly, he hears her whisper into it. Tomorrow's lunch, I can make it. I'll see you there. Patrick closes his eyes. His marriage didn't break with a scream or a fight. It broke in silence with a whispered phone call and a betrayal so quiet he almost missed it. He thinks about the invitation on his windshield, the broken seal, the sticky note. Enjoy your big night. Someone planned this. Someone set the trap, and Brittany walked right into it. Now Patrick has to decide what to do next. He doesn't have answers yet, just questions, and a terrible, growing certainty that his life is about to change forever. He lies there until dawn, watching the shadows move across the ceiling. And when the sun finally rises, Patrick O'Donnell makes a decision. He's not going to beg, he's not going to rage, he's not going to be anyone's afterthought, he's going to find out the truth. And then he's going to protect his family, whatever it takes. 2 weeks pass. 2 weeks of Brittany coming home late, 2 weeks of excuses that don't quite add up. 2 weeks of Patrick watching his marriage dissolve in slow motion while pretending everything is fine for the kids. He's not stupid. He knows what's happening, but knowing and proving are two different things. "You're working again tonight?" Patrick asks on a Tuesday morning. He's standing at the kitchen counter packing Danny's lunch, turkey sandwich, apple slices. A note that says good luck on your math test because that's the kind of dad he is. Brittany doesn't look up from her coffee. Short-staffed, you know how it is. That's the 4th double shift this week. People are sick, flu season. She finally meets his eyes. "What do you want me to do, Patrick? Say no?" He doesn't answer. Just zips Danny's lunchbox and sets it by the door. Lily comes running down the stairs, backpack bouncing. "Mom, can you braid my hair?" "Not today, sweetie. I have to leave early." "You always have to leave early." The words hang in the air. Lily doesn't mean them as an accusation. She's 8, she's just stating a fact. But Brittany flinches like she's been slapped. "I'll braid it," Patrick says. "Come here, Lilybug." Brittany watches him work the braid with practiced hands. Something flickers across her face, guilt maybe, or resentment, hard to tell anymore. "I'll be home by 10, she says. "Sure." She kisses the kids goodbye, doesn't kiss Patrick, hasn't kissed him in 12 days. He's been counting. The door closes behind her and Patrick pulls out his phone. Erin Wallace picks up on the 3rd ring. "Patrick O'Donnell, haven't heard from you since the gala." Her voice is cautious. "Everything okay? I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me." Silence, then okay. "Brittany says she's been picking up extra shifts, double shifts, for this week alone." Patrick keeps his voice steady. "Is that true?" More silence, longer this time. "Patrick." "Erin, please," she sighs. The sound of someone who doesn't want to be in the middle of this. She's not picking up doubles. She's been requesting specific hours, short shifts that end around noon. Patrick's stomach drops. "Noon." "Yeah, she told dispatch she had family obligations in the afternoons." Erin pauses. "I figured you knew. I figured it was like doctor's appointments or something." "It's not doctor's appointments." "I'm sorry, Patrick, I really am." He hangs up without saying goodbye. His hands are shaking, but his mind is clear. She's been lying about her schedule, creating windows of time, meeting Brian during lunch breaks that stretch for hours. Patrick looks at his reflection in the kitchen window. He barely recognizes himself. The dark circles under his eyes. The tension in his jaw. He could confront her. Could scream, throw things, demand explanations. But that's what a stupid man would do. And Patrick O'Donnell is not stupid. He's going to play this smart. That afternoon, Patrick meets Cole at a bar near the firehouse. It's a working-class place, sticky floors, cheap beer, a jukebox that only plays country music from the 90s. The kind of bar where nobody asks questions and everybody minds their own business. Cole is already there, nursing a Budweiser. He looks up when Patrick slides into the booth. "You look like hell. Feel like it too." Cole pushes a beer across the table. "Talk to me." So Patrick talks. He tells Cole everything, the gala, the seating error, Brian Caldwell, the text messages, the whispered phone call, the fake shifts, all of it. Cole listens without interrupting. When Patrick finishes, he drains his beer and signals for another. "What do you want to do?" he asks. "I don't know, that's why I'm here." "Okay, let me tell you what you don't want to do." Cole leans forward. "You don't want to confront her without evidence. You don't want to threaten this Brian guy. You don't want to do anything that makes you look like the bad guy in court." "Court? Brother, you're headed for divorce, whether you want it or not." Cole's voice is gentle but firm. "And in divorce, the guy who loses his temper is the guy who loses everything. His kids, his house, his retirement." Patrick stares at his beer. "So what do I do?" "3 things. Protect the kids, make sure they're stable, make sure you're present, protect your paycheck, don't give them any reason to fire you, and document everything." "Document?" "Every lie she tells, every shift she claims to work, every time she comes home smelling like someone else's cologne." Cole taps the table. You're building a case, Patrick, not for revenge, for survival. Patrick nods slowly. What if I still love her? Cole looks at him with something like pity. Then you're in for a world of hurt, but loving someone doesn't mean letting them destroy you. They sit in silence for a while. The jukebox plays Garth Brooks. Someone laughs at the bar. There's a legal aid clinic on Gratiot, Cole says finally. My cousin used them during his divorce. They're good, and they're cheap. Patrick pulls out his phone and types the address. Thanks, Cole. That's what friends are for. The legal aid clinic is in a strip mall between a payday loan place and a laundromat. Patrick walks in on Thursday afternoon, feeling out of place among the plastic chairs and fluorescent lights. A woman behind the counter hands him a clipboard full of forms. First consultation is free, she says. Attorney will be with you in 20 minutes. The attorney's name is Marcus Webb. He's black, mid-50s, with gray at his temples and reading glasses perched on his nose. His office is small but organized, law books on shelves, family photos on the desk, a diploma from Wayne State on the wall. Mr. O'Donnell, Marcus shakes his hand. What brings you in today? Patrick tells him, shorter version this time, just the facts, the suspected affair, the lies about work schedules, the concern about what happens next. Marcus listens, taking notes. When Patrick finishes, he sets down his pen. You're smart to come in now, he says. Most men wait until things blow up. By then, they've already made mistakes. What kind of mistakes? Moving money without documentation, confronting the other party in ways that can be used against them, leaving the family home, which can be interpreted as abandonment. Marcus leans back. Right now, you have options. Let's talk about protecting them. For the next hour, they discuss Michigan divorce law, joint assets, custody factors, the importance of maintaining the family home, the value of documentation. Patrick takes notes on a legal pad Marcus gives him. Every word feels like armor. Here's what I want you to do, Marcus says at the end. Keep living normally. Don't accuse her of anything you can't prove, but start separating your finances quietly. Open a new account, direct your paycheck there, document every household expense, and keep a journal of her whereabouts, times, dates, inconsistencies. A journal? Courts love documentation. The more specific, the better. Patrick stands up. Thank you. One more thing. Marcus looks at him over his glasses. You mentioned kids, Danny and Lily? Yeah. Whatever happens between you and your wife, those kids need stability. Be present, be consistent, show up at school events, help with homework, handle the day-to-day stuff. He pauses. In custody disputes, the parent who's been doing the work has the advantage. Patrick nods. I've always done the work. Then keep doing it and document that too. That night, Brittany comes home at 11:47 p.m. Patrick is sitting in the living room pretending to watch TV. He's been waiting for hours. You're still up? She sounds surprised, maybe nervous. Couldn't sleep. She sets her purse down, kicks off her shoes. Long shift, I'm exhausted. I bet. Something in his tone makes her pause. What's that supposed to mean? Patrick looks at her. His wife of 15 years, the mother of his children, the woman who's been lying to his face for weeks. Nothing, he says, just tired myself. She stares at him for a long moment. Then, you've been weird lately, Patrick, distant, suspicious. Her voice sharpens. Is there something you want to say? Here it is, the opening. He could confront her right now, throw Aaron's information in her face, demand the truth, blow everything up. But Cole's words echo in his head. Document everything, don't give them ammunition. No, Patrick says calmly. Nothing to say, just glad you're home safe. Brittany's eyes narrow. She's waiting for an accusation that doesn't come. Okay, she says finally. I'm going to bed. She walks past him without another word. A few minutes later, he hears the bedroom door close. Patrick pulls out his phone, opens the Notes app. Types November 29, 2008. Brittany claimed double shift. Aaron confirmed she worked 6 a.m. noon only. Came home 11:47 p.m. Whereabouts for 11+ hours unknown. No explanation offered. He saves the note and turns off the TV. In the bedroom, Brittany is already asleep, or pretending to be. Patrick lies down next to her, careful not to touch. Tomorrow he'll keep watching, keep documenting, keep building his case, and he'll give her one more chance, one clear off-ramp, a moment where she can choose honesty over deception. If she takes it, maybe they can salvage something. If she doesn't, Patrick stares at the ceiling until dawn. The next morning he tries. Hey, he catches her before she leaves for work. I was thinking maybe we could do something this weekend, family dinner, the four of us. Brittany pauses at the door. This weekend? Saturday, that Italian place Lily likes. She doesn't answer right away. Her phone buzzes in her pocket. She ignores it or pretends to. Saturday might be tricky, she says. I promised Kimberly I'd help her with something. Kimberly? Yeah, she's reorganizing her classroom, needs an extra pair of hands. Patrick nods slowly. Okay, maybe Sunday then? Maybe. She kisses his cheek, quick, mechanical. I have to go, we'll talk later. The door closes behind her. Patrick waits exactly 15 minutes. Then he picks up his phone. Kimberly answers on the second ring. Patrick, is everything okay? Quick question, are you doing anything with Brittany on Saturday? She said something about helping you reorganize. Dead silence. Patrick, Kimberly's voice is careful. I haven't talked to Brittany in over a week, and I'm not reorganizing anything. Patrick closes his eyes. Thanks, Kim, that's all I needed to know. Patrick, wait. He hangs up. Another lie, another excuse. Another betrayal documented in black and white. Brittany isn't just having an affair. She's building a whole second life. And she's using her best friend as a cover story without even checking if it works. She's not being careful anymore. She's getting sloppy. Which means she's either confident she won't get caught, or she doesn't care if she does. Patrick doesn't know which possibility is worse. Saturday comes. Brittany leaves the house at noon, dressed nicer than usual. Dark jeans, a blouse Patrick hasn't seen before, perfume that isn't her regular scent. I'll be back by 5, she says, not meeting his eyes. Kimberly really needs the help. Sure. Have fun. She hesitates at the door. For a second, Patrick thinks she might confess, might drop the whole charade and tell him the truth. Instead, she grabs her keys and walks out. Patrick waits until her car disappears around the corner. Then he turns to the kids. Get your coats, we're going out. Danny looks up from his video game. Where? That Italian place. The one with the good breadsticks. Lily's face lights up. Really? But Mom said. Mom's busy, it's just us today. Patrick forces a smile. Come on, I'm starving. Rosario's is a family restaurant on the east side, red checkered tablecloths, candles in wine bottles, Frank Sinatra on the speakers. Patrick used to bring Brittany here when they were dating. Before kids, before mortgages, before everything got complicated. They get a booth near the window. Danny orders spaghetti. Lily orders chicken fingers. Patrick pretends to read the menu while watching the door. He doesn't know why he's here, some instinct, some pull, or maybe he just knows his wife better than she thinks. Dad, Danny's voice cuts through his thoughts. You okay? Fine, buddy. Just thinking, you've been weird lately. Patrick looks at his son, 12 years old, starting to notice things, starting to understand that adults aren't always what they pretend to be. It's complicated, Danny. Is it about Mom? The question hits Patrick like a punch. He opens his mouth to deflect, to lie, to protect, and then he sees her, Brittany, walking past the window. Hand in hand with Brian Caldwell, they're laughing about something. Brian leans down and whispers in her ear. She tilts her head back, delighted. The way she used to laugh with Patrick a lifetime ago, they don't see him. They're too wrapped up in each other. Patrick's vision narrows, his heart pounds. Every instinct screams at him to get up, to confront, to demand answers. But Danny and Lily are right here, watching him, waiting. Dad, Lily tugs his sleeve. What are you looking at? Patrick takes a deep breath, forces his hands to unclench. Nothing, sweetie, just thought I saw someone I knew. He watches Brittany and Brian disappear into a coffee shop across the street. His wife, his home, his life walking away without a backward glance. Actually, Patrick says slowly, let's get our food to go. 20 minutes later, Patrick parks across from the coffee shop. The kids are in the backseat, confused but obedient. Danny's got his earbuds in. Lily's playing with a paper napkin. Wait here, Patrick says. I need to talk to someone. Who? A friend. I'll be right back. He crosses the street. His legs feel numb. His mind feels sharp, sharper than it's been in weeks. The coffee shop is small and crowded. Patrick scans the room until he finds them. Corner booth, heads close together, Brian's hand covering Brittany's on the table. Patrick walks over. Brittany sees him first. Her face goes white. Patrick! Hey, honey. He slides into the booth next to Brian, casual as anything. Thought you were helping Kimberly today. Brian straightens up. His expression shifts from surprise to something colder. Patrick, we were just... I know what you were just. Patrick keeps his voice level. The question is whether my kids need to know too. They're in the car across the street. Brittany's hand flies to her mouth. The kids are here. Lily wanted Italian. Figured we'd make it a family thing. Patrick finally looks at Brian, really looks at him. You and I need to talk. Brian's jaw tightens. I don't think that's necessary. I do. Brittany reaches for Patrick's arm. Let's not do this here, please. Where would you prefer, our bedroom? Oh wait, you've been avoiding that for weeks. Patrick, I'm not making a scene, Brittany. I'm stating facts. He turns back to Brian. You've been sleeping with my wife. Don't bother denying it. I stopped caring about proof 2 weeks ago. What I want to know is what happens next. Brian leans back, arms crossed, that smooth confidence faltering now. You don't want this to get messy, Patrick. It's already messy. Patrick's voice doesn't waver. I'm just cleaning it up. Silence stretches between them. Brittany looks like she might cry. Brian looks like he might bolt. Patrick stands up. Here's how this goes. You stay away from my wife while we figure out our marriage, if we figure out our marriage. He looks at Brittany. And you come home tonight. We talk like adults. No more lies. Brittany's eyes are wet. Patrick, I didn't mean for this to happen. She takes a shaky breath. I think I love him. Patrick feels the words land in his chest like bullets, but he doesn't flinch. Do you love me? Yes, of course. Then how does that work? He shakes his head. You can't love 2 people the same way, Brittany. At some point you have to choose. I can love 2 people, she whispers. Maybe, but you can't lie to both of them. Patrick turns to leave. Pick the one you won't lie to and let me know what you decide. He walks out of the coffee shop without looking back. The drive home is silent. Danny takes out his earbuds. Dad, who was that man with Mom? Patrick grips the steering wheel. A friend of hers. They were holding hands. No answer. What answer is there? Lily speaks up from the backseat, small and scared. Is Mom in trouble? Patrick looks at his daughter in the rearview mirror. 8 years old, still young enough to believe adults have everything figured out. No, sweetheart, he lies. Everything's going to be okay. Brittany comes home at 9 p.m. Patrick is waiting at the kitchen table, legal pad in front of him, notes from Marcus Webb's office. She sits across from him, red eyes. Smeared mascara, the look of someone whose world just tilted off its axis. I'm sorry, she says. I know. I didn't plan for any of this. Nobody does. Patrick slides a piece of paper across the table. I talked to a lawyer, legal aid clinic. They helped me understand our options. Brittany stares at the paper. What is this? Separation agreement, temporary, just to figure out next steps. He pauses. You move out. We split time with the kids. I stay in the house until we decide something permanent. You want me to leave? I want you to choose, Brittany, him or us. Patrick's voice cracks, but he holds it together. But you can't live here while you figure it out. I won't be your backup plan. Brittany wipes her eyes. What about the kids? They stay with me during the week. You get them on weekends. Patrick taps the paper. It's all there. Read it. Think about it. Let me know. Patrick, she reaches for his hand. He pulls away. What if I choose you? What if I end things with Brian? Patrick looks at her, the woman he's loved for half his life. Then we start over, slowly, with counseling, transparency, and a whole lot of work. He pauses. But I need to believe you mean it, and right now I don't. Brittany nods slowly, picks up the paper, reads it in silence. I need time, she says finally, to think. Take all the time you need, but take it somewhere else. She stands up, walks to the bedroom, starts packing a bag. Patrick stays at the kitchen table, staring at nothing. An hour later, Brittany drives away. Patrick watches her taillights disappear into the darkness. Then he goes upstairs, checks on the kids, and collapses into bed alone. He doesn't cry. He's too tired to cry, but sleep doesn't come. Not for a long, long time. 3 days after Brittany moves out, Patrick gets a call from a number he doesn't recognize. Mr. O'Donnell, this is Courtney Bishop. I'm a reporter with the Metro Detroit Chronicle. Patrick frowns. A reporter? About what? I'm working on a story about predatory schemes targeting working-class families, romance scams, financial manipulation, that kind of thing. She pauses. Your name came up. My name, not as a perpetrator, as a potential victim. Another pause. Does the name Brian Caldwell mean anything to you? Patrick sits down slowly. Keep talking. They meet at a diner on Michigan Avenue. Courtney is younger than Patrick expected, late 20s, curly brown hair, a notepad that never leaves her hand. She's hungry, he can tell, the kind of hunger that comes from years of chasing stories nobody wants to publish. I've been tracking Caldwell for 6 months, she says, stirring her coffee. He presents himself as a pie, but his license is questionable. Most of his income comes from other sources. What other sources? Courtney leans forward. He targets women in vulnerable situations, married women usually working class, stressed, looking for an escape. She pulls out a folder. He charms them, isolates them from their support systems, and then, once they're emotionally dependent, he starts asking for money, small amounts at first, then bigger. Patrick's stomach turns. Asking for money how? Fees for protection, investments in his business, access to their husband's finances. Courtney slides a photograph across the table. Recognize her. It's a woman Patrick doesn't know. Mid-30s, brunette, tired eyes. No. Her name's Denise Kowalski. She was Brian's girlfriend 2 years ago. He convinced her to take out a second mortgage on her house. By the time she realized what happened, she'd lost everything. Patrick stares at the photograph. And you think he's doing the same thing to my wife? I think he's running a pattern. And I think someone is helping him find targets. Courtney's eyes sharpen. Do you know anyone who might want to hurt you, Mr. O'Donnell? Someone with access to your personal information? Patrick's mind flashes to Devin Price, the safety report, the smug smile at the gala, the unannounced visit to his house. Maybe, he says slowly. I need to check something first. That night, Patrick drives to the plant. It's after hours. The parking lot is empty except for a few security lights. He parks near the employee entrance and waits. At 8:47 p.m., Devin Price's silver Malibu pulls into the lot. Patrick watches Devin get out, walk to a mailbox near the fence, and pull out a stack of envelopes. One of them is thick, padded. Cash, maybe. Devin looks around. Doesn't see Patrick's truck in the shadows, gets back in his car and drives away. Patrick pulls out his phone and texts Courtney. There's a P.O. box near Kellerman Auto Parts, corner of Gratiot and Industrial Drive. Devin Price just picked up something that looked like a payment. The response comes immediately. I have a contact who can help trace that. Postal Inspector Trainee. Her name is Angel Monroe. Can you meet us tomorrow? Patrick types back, tell me when and where. Angel Monroe is 27, sharp-eyed and clearly nervous about helping a journalist investigate potential mail fraud. I can't give you official information, she says, sitting across from Patrick and Courtney at a coffee shop near the post office. But I can tell you what I've observed. That's all we're asking, Courtney says. Angel pulls out a small notebook. That P.O. Box number 447 is registered to a business called Caldwell Security Consulting. It was opened 18 months ago. Since then, it's received regular deposits from at least 4 different sources. What kind of deposits? Patrick asks. Cash payments, money orders, all under the reporting threshold. Angel hesitates, and one of those sources is a personal account belonging to Devin Price. Patrick feels the pieces clicking together. Devin's been paying Brian monthly, like clockwork. Angel closes her notebook. I don't know what the payments are for, but they started around the same time Caldwell began operating in this area. Courtney is scribbling furiously. Can you connect them to anything specific, any communication? Not officially, but Angel lowers her voice. There's a regular pickup schedule every Tuesday and Friday if someone wanted to observe who's collecting from that box. I'll handle that, Patrick says. He thanks Angel, shakes her hand, and walks out into the cold November air. Devin has been paying Brian Caldwell, feeding him information, setting up targets. Patrick wasn't just betrayed by his wife. He was hunted deliberately, systematically. And now he knows who's responsible. That night, Patrick can't sleep. He lies in bed, staring at the ceiling, running through everything he's learned. Devin blamed him for the write-up. The safety report that cost Devin his bonus, his reputation, his standing at the plant. With layoffs coming, Devin must have seen Patrick as competition, someone who needed to be eliminated, but Devin didn't want to get his hands dirty. So he outsourced the job to Brian Caldwell. Find the wife, charm her, break up the marriage, destroy the family. Make Patrick so miserable he quits or makes a mistake that gets him fired. It's elegant in a sick way. A long-game revenge plot disguised as a random affair. Brittany never stood a chance. She was targeted, groomed, manipulated. That doesn't excuse her choices, but it explains them. Patrick pulls out his phone, opens his notes app. Types, November 30, 2008. Confirmed connection between Devin Price and Brian Caldwell. Payments tracked through P.O. Box 447. Timeline suggests coordinated operation beginning after safety report incident. He saves the note and sets down the phone. Tomorrow he'll go to HR, not with accusations, with documentation. Times, dates, receipts. Everything Marcus Webb taught him. and then he'll set a trap of his own. Monday morning, Patrick walks into Kellerman's HR office at 7:45 a.m. Linda Chen, no relation to anyone, is the HR director. Mid-40s, glasses, permanently exhausted expression. She's been handling layoff paperwork for months. One more complaint probably feels like a mountain on top of Everest. But she listens. Patrick gives her credit for that. "I have documentation of workplace harassment and potential retaliation," Patrick says, sliding a folder across her desk. "Devin Price has been surveilling my personal life, sharing information with a third party and creating a hostile work environment." Linda opens the folder. Her eyebrows rise as she reads. "This is thorough. I've been keeping records since October." "And you're saying Mr. Price filmed you at a private event without your knowledge?" "He was at the union gala taking videos on his phone. I have a witness who saw him." Patrick pauses. "He also showed up at my home uninvited, asked questions about my personal schedule, questions I never gave him answers to." Linda sets down the folder. "This is a serious accusation, Mr. O'Donnell." "I know. That's why I brought evidence instead of just complaints." She studies him for a long moment. "I'll need to investigate, interview Mr. Price, review security footage if available." She stands up. "In the meantime, I'm going to recommend you two be assigned to different shifts, minimize contact." "That's fine." "And Patrick," Linda's voice softens, "whatever's happening in your personal life, I'm sorry. This job is hard enough without." She doesn't finish the sentence. She doesn't need to. "Thank you," Patrick says. "I appreciate you taking this seriously." By Wednesday, Courtney's investigation has grown legs. She calls Patrick with an update. "I've confirmed 3 other women with stories similar to yours." Brian approached them at community events, charity functions, union gatherings. Always the same pattern: charm, isolation, financial pressure. "Did any of them lose money?" "2 of them, significant amounts." Courtney's voice is tight with anger. "He's been doing this for years, Patrick, and nobody stopped him because each woman thinks she's the only one." "What about my wife?" "Has he asked her for money?" "I don't know, that's where I need your help." Patrick listens as Courtney outlines her plan. It's risky. It requires Patrick to trust Brittany, at least partially, to give her information and see what she does with it. "You want me to set a trap," he says. "I want you to test her, see if Brian's hold on her is strong enough to make her betray you financially." Courtney pauses. "If she passes, maybe there's hope for your marriage. If she doesn't, then I know where I stand." "Exactly." Patrick thinks about it, the risk, the potential reward, the fact that either outcome gives him clarity. "Okay," he says, "tell me what to do." Saturday afternoon. Patrick invites Brittany to the house to discuss the kids' holiday schedule. She arrives looking nervous. Thinner than before, the glow from the gala is gone, replaced by something darker, worry maybe, or regret. They sit at the kitchen table, neutral territory. "The kids miss you," Patrick says. "I miss them too." Brittany fidgets with her coffee cup. "How are they doing?" Danny's angry, Lily's confused. Patrick pauses. "They keep asking when you're coming home." Brittany's eyes fill with tears. "Patrick, I didn't bring you here to fight." He slides a piece of paper across the table. "I need to tell you something about the house." "The house?" "I'm refinancing. Interest rates dropped and I can lower our payment by almost $200 a month." Patrick keeps his voice casual. "I just need to get the paperwork in order. Appraisal, income verification, all that stuff." Brittany stares at the paper. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because we're still legally married. Your name's on the deed." He shrugs. "I figured you should know." She nods slowly, but something flickers in her eyes, calculation maybe, or guilt. That's good, the lower payment, I mean." "Yeah, should help with expenses." Patrick stands up. "Anyway, I'll email you the holiday schedule. Let me know if the dates work." "Patrick," she reaches for his hand, "I'm sorry for everything. I know that doesn't mean much, but it means something." He gently pulls away. "But meaning and action are different things. Show me you're sorry, then we'll talk." 3 days later, Brittany calls him. It's late, almost midnight. Her voice is shaky. "Patrick, I need to talk to you." "What's wrong?" "Brian, she takes a breath. "He's asking about the refinancing. He wants me to get copies of the paperwork, the loan documents, the appraisal, everything." Patrick's pulse quickens, but he keeps his voice calm. "Why would he want that?" "He says I need to protect myself, that you might try to hide assets or..." She trails off. "Patrick, something doesn't feel right." "What do you mean?" "He's been different lately, controlling, checking my phone, getting angry when I don't answer right away." Her voice cracks. "I thought he cared about me, but now I think..." I think he just wanted something from me. Patrick closes his eyes. What are you going to do? I don't know, I'm scared. She's crying now. Patrick, what if I ruined everything? What if I threw away our marriage for someone who was just using me? Patrick doesn't answer right away. Part of him wants to say, I told you so. Part of him wants to hang up and let her suffer the consequences of her choices. But another part, the part that still loves her despite everything, feels something like hope. Brittany, listen to me. His voice is steady. Don't give him anything. No documents, no information, nothing. But he's pressuring me. I don't care. If he gets aggressive, you call the police. Patrick pauses. And tomorrow you call Kimberly, tell her everything, Brittany, no more lies. Silence on the other end, then quietly, okay. And Brittany? Yeah, thank you for telling me. It doesn't fix anything, but it's a start. He hangs up. Patrick sits in the dark kitchen for a long time, processing what just happened. Brittany chose honesty, not completely, not yet, but enough. The trap worked. Brian showed his true colors, and now Brittany is finally starting to see the man she chose over her husband. It's not redemption, not yet, but it's the first crack in Brian Caldwell's armor. And Patrick is going to make sure it splits wide open. Across town, Brittany sits in her rented room, staring at her phone. Brian's last text glows on the screen. Did you get the documents yet? She doesn't respond. Instead, she opens her contacts and finds Kimberly's number. Her thumb hovers over the call button. Then she dials. Kim, it's me. Her voice breaks. I messed up. I messed up so bad and I don't know what to do. Slow down, tell me what's happening. Brittany takes a shaky breath. He's asking for paperwork, financial stuff, and Patrick warned me and I didn't listen, and now I think Brian was using me the whole time. Silence, then, what do you need? I need help, I need. Brittany wipes her eyes. Kim, what if I ruined everything? What if there's no way back? There's always a way back, Kimberly says firmly. But first you have to stop digging the hole. Can you do that? I think so. Good, come over tomorrow. We'll figure this out together. Brittany hangs up and stares at the wall. Brian's text still glows on her phone. Did you get the documents yet? She types back, working on it. But for the first time in weeks, she has no intention of following through. The momentum is shifting, and Brittany O'Donnell is finally starting to wake up. Brittany wakes up to the sound of her phone vibrating against the nightstand. She reaches for it, still half asleep, and Brian's hand closes around her wrist. Who's texting you? She blinks. He's already awake, already watching her. The morning light through the motel curtains makes his face look harder than she remembers. I don't know, I haven't looked yet. Then look. She picks up the phone. It's Kimberly. Hey, just checking in. Call me when you can. Brian reads it over her shoulder. What does she want? She's just checking on me. She's been checking on you a lot lately. His voice is flat, controlled. What are you telling her? Nothing, just that I'm okay. Are you? He sits up and the sheets fall away from his chest. 3 weeks ago, that sight would have made her feel something. Now it just makes her nervous. Because you've been distant, Brittany, distracted, like you're somewhere else. I'm right here. Your body's here, your head's somewhere else. He reaches for his own phone. Who else have you been talking to? Nobody. Patrick. We have kids together, Brian. I have to talk to him sometimes. About what? Brittany's stomach tightens. This isn't the man she met at the gala. That man was charming, attentive, made her feel like the only woman in the room. This man is something else entirely. About the kids, she says carefully. Schedules, school stuff, that's it. Brian studies her face, looking for lies, looking for cracks. I need you to trust me, he says finally. Can you do that? Yes. Good. He kisses her forehead, a gesture that feels more like a stamp of ownership than affection. Because we're building something here, you and me, and I can't have outside interference. He gets up and walks to the bathroom. The door closes. Brittany sits in the tangled sheets, heart pounding. She thinks about the woman she was a month ago. The woman who believed Brian when he said she deserved better. The woman who threw away 15 years of marriage for whispered compliments and stolen lunches. That woman was an idiot. This woman, the one sitting in a cheap motel room, afraid to check her own phone, is starting to wake up. 3 days later, Brittany tries to call Aaron. Brian is at work or wherever he goes during the day. She's not allowed to ask anymore. Questions make him angry. Aaron picks up on the 4th ring. Brittany, oh my God, I've been trying to reach you for a week. I know, I'm sorry, things have been weird, scary, completely insane. Aaron's voice is sharp. Kim told me what's going on. She's worried about you, we all are. I'm fine. You don't sound fine, you sound like you're whispering. Brittany glances at the door. Brian doesn't like me talking to people. Silence. Then, Brittany, listen to me. What you just said, that's not normal. That's not love. That's control. I know. Do you? Because a month ago you were telling me Patrick was suffocating you with his boundaries. Now you're hiding phone calls from your boyfriend. Aaron exhales. Sweetie, you jumped from one situation into something way worse. Brittany's eyes sting. I know, I don't know how to get out. Yes, you do. You walk away. You call Patrick. You go home. I can't, not after everything I did. You can, that's the thing about mistakes. You can stop making them anytime you want. Aaron pauses. But Brittany, if things get bad, if he threatens you, if he scares you, I need you to document it, okay? Record it if you can. Your phone has a voice memo app. Use it. Why? Because men like Brian don't let go easy. And when you finally leave, and you will leave, you're going to need proof of who he really is. That same afternoon, Courtney Bishop's article goes live. The headline reads, Predatory Romance Schemes Target Detroit's Working-Class Families. The story doesn't name names, not yet, but it describes a pattern, charming men who target vulnerable women at community events. Isolation tactics. Financial manipulation, the slow dismantling of marriages for profit and spite. Patrick reads it at the kitchen table while the kids do homework in the living room. His phone buzzes. Cole, you see the article. Patrick types back, yeah, Courtney's good. This is going to blow up. You ready? Patrick looks at his children, Danny hunched over a math worksheet. Lily coloring a picture of a house with a family inside, 2 parents, 2 kids, a dog they don't have, ready as I'll ever be. Brian sees the article that night. Brittany is in the bathroom when she hears him cursing in the other room. She comes out to find him pacing, phone in hand, face twisted with rage. What's wrong? Some reporter is writing about me. He shoves the phone at her. Look at this. Predatory romance schemes. Like I'm some kind of criminal. Brittany reads the article. Her blood runs cold. The details are vague, but she recognizes them. The charity events, the seating errors, the gradual isolation from friends and family. It's describing Brian, and it's describing her. This is insane, Brian snaps. Someone's been talking. Feeding this reporter information. He turns on Brittany. Was it you? What? No, because you've been acting strange lately, secretive, pulling away from me. He steps closer. If I find out you've been talking to people about us. I haven't. Then who? His voice rises. Who's trying to destroy everything I've built? Brittany backs away. Her hip bumps the dresser. She's trapped. I don't know, she says, but it wasn't me, I swear. Brian stares at her. The anger in his eyes is something she's never seen before, cold, calculating, dangerous. You better be telling the truth, he says quietly, because if you're not, you're going to regret it. He grabs his jacket and storms out. The door slams behind him. Brittany stands frozen in the silence. Her whole body is shaking. She pulls out her phone, opens the voice memo app, looks at it for a long moment. Then she hides it in her pocket, ready for next time. At Kellerman Auto Parts, Devin Price is called into HR. Linda Chen is waiting with a folder, a thick folder. Mr. Price, please sit down. Devin sits. His smile is confident, but his eyes are nervous. What's this about? We've received a complaint from a coworker, Patrick O'Donnell. Linda opens the folder. He's provided documentation of harassment and potential retaliation, including evidence that you've been surveilling his personal life and sharing information with outside parties. That's ridiculous. Patrick's paranoid. Everyone knows that. We also received information from an external source. Linda slides a piece of paper across the desk. A postal inspector trainee flagged regular payments from your personal account to a PO box registered to someone named Brian Caldwell. Can you explain that? Devin's face goes pale. That's a private matter. Is it? Linda's voice hardens. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you've been paying someone to target a coworker's family. That's not a private matter, Mr. Price. That's potential criminal activity. I want a lawyer. That's your right. In the meantime, you're suspended pending investigation. Linda stands up. Security will escort you to collect your personal belongings, your badge and parking pass, please. Devin doesn't move. His confident smile has crumbled into something desperate. You don't understand, he says. Patrick got me written up. He was trying to make me look bad. I was just defending yourself by destroying his marriage. Linda shakes her head. That's not defense, Mr. Price. That's revenge, and it's going to cost you everything. That night, Patrick gets a call from Courtney. The article's getting traction. 3 more women have reached out with similar stories about Brian. Her voice is tight with excitement. Patrick, this is bigger than we thought. He's been doing this for years. What happens now? Now the police get involved. Multiple victims means it's not just a civil matter anymore. It's a pattern of fraud and manipulation. She pauses. I need to ask you something. Your wife, is she safe? Patrick stares at the wall. I don't know. Because if Brian feels cornered, he might lash out. Men like him don't handle exposure well. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting you reach out to her, not to reconcile, just to make sure she has a way out if she needs one. Courtney's voice softens. Whatever she did, she doesn't deserve to be trapped with a predator. Patrick closes his eyes. Every instinct tells him to stay away, to let Brittany deal with the consequences of her choices, but she's still the mother of his children, and he's not the kind of man who lets people suffer just because they hurt him. I'll think about it, he says. Think fast, things are about to move quickly. Brian comes back to the motel room at 2 a.m. He's been drinking. Brittany can smell it on him, whiskey and rage. Get up. She sits up in bed, heart hammering. What's wrong? The police called me today. The police. He paces the small room like a caged animal. Someone's been feeding them information, telling lies about me. Brian, I know it wasn't you. He stops pacing. Looks at her with something like contempt. You're not smart enough to pull something like this off. The words hit like a slap. Brittany feels something shift inside her, the last remnant of whatever she thought she felt for this man, crumbling to dust. Then who? She asks quietly. Your husband, his reporter friend, that dispatcher you work with. Brian laughs, a harsh, ugly sound. They've been building a case against me, and you walked right into it. I don't understand. Of course you don't. He grabs his duffel bag from the closet, starts throwing clothes into it. You were bait, Brittany, don't you get it? Patrick knew I'd come after you. He set a trap and you were the cheese. Brittany watches him pack. Her mind is spinning, trying to catch up. Where are you going? Somewhere safe, somewhere these people can't touch me. He zips the bag, pulls out his wallet, counts out some bills and throws them on the bed. That should cover a few nights. After that, you're on your own. You're leaving me? I'm protecting myself. He slings the bag over his shoulder. You were fun for a while, Brittany, but you're too much heat now. I can't afford to be associated with you. The cruelty of it takes her breath away. 6 weeks ago, this man told her she was extraordinary. Now he's tossing her aside like garbage. Brian, please. Don't. He holds up a hand. Don't beg, it's pathetic. He opens the door. Word of advice, go back to your husband, grovel, maybe he'll take you back. Men like him usually do. The door closes behind him. Brittany sits alone in the motel room, surrounded by silence and the smell of cheap air freshener. She looks at the money on the bed. $200, the price of her dignity. She doesn't cry. She's too empty to cry. Instead, she picks up her phone and does the only thing she can think of. She calls Patrick. He answers on the 3rd ring. Brittany. He left. Her voice sounds hollow even to her own ears. Brian, he just left. Silence, then. Are you safe? I don't know, I'm at a motel off 8 Mile, the Lakewood. She takes a shaky breath. Patrick, I know I don't have any right to call you. After everything I did, stop. His voice is firm but not cruel. We'll deal with all that later. Right now, I need to know if you're in danger. I don't think so. He just dumped me like I was nothing. More silence. Brittany can hear him breathing, deciding. Stay there tonight, he says finally. Lock the door, don't open it for anyone. Tomorrow we talk. Patrick. What? I'm sorry. The words crack in her throat. I'm so sorry, I know that doesn't mean anything, but it means something. His voice softens just slightly. But sorry doesn't fix what you broke. We have a lot of work to do if you're ready for that. I am. Then I'll see you tomorrow. He hangs up. Brittany sits in the dark motel room, clutching her phone like a lifeline. For the first time in weeks, she feels something besides fear. She feels hope. The next morning, Brittany opens her door to find a process server. Brittany O'Donnell? Yes. He hands her an envelope. You've been served. She opens it with trembling hands. Separation agreement, financial disclosures, custody proposal. Patrick didn't file for divorce, not yet, but he made it clear he's not waiting forever. She reads through the documents on the motel bed. Every word is a reminder of what she threw away. Then she gets dressed, packs her things, and drives to the house that used to be her home. Patrick is waiting on the porch. He looks tired, older than she remembers. The weight of the past 2 months etched into the lines around his eyes. Brittany parks in the driveway, gets out slowly. walks toward him like a defendant approaching the bench. "Thank you for seeing me," she says. "The kids are at school. We have until 3. She nods, follows him inside. The house looks the same, smells the same, coffee and laundry detergent and something indefinably home. Brittany feels her chest tighten with grief. They sit at the kitchen table. The same table where they've shared 1,000 meals, 1,000 conversations, 1,000 ordinary moments she never appreciated until they were gone. "I brought something," Brittany says. She pulls out her phone. "Recordings of Brian, the things he said, the threats he made." Patrick takes the phone, doesn't listen to them yet, just sets it on the table between them. "Why?" "Because I want to help, I want to make this right." She meets his eyes. "I know I can't undo what I did, but I can help you stop him. And Devin, they planned this, Patrick. They targeted us because of some grudge at your job." "I know. And I fell for it. I fell for all of it." Her voice breaks. "I was so tired and so lonely, and he said all the right things. And I convinced myself it was real." Patrick is quiet for a long moment. "I know you were targeted," he says finally. "That doesn't excuse what you did, but it explains some of it." "I'm not making excuses." "Good, because I don't want to hear them." He leans forward. "Here's where we are, Brittany. I still love you. I probably always will, but I can't trust you. And without trust, we don't have a marriage. We just have a legal document." Brittany nods. "I understand. The kids need their mother. I'm not going to take that away from them." He pauses. "But being their mother and being my wife are two different things. You can be one without the other." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying you can come back for the kids. We'll figure out a living arrangement that works." His jaw tightens. "But the marriage, that's a separate conversation, and it depends entirely on you." "On me?" "On whether you're willing to earn back what you threw away." Patrick stands up. "It won't be easy, it won't be quick, and there's no guarantee it works. But if you're serious about accountability, real accountability, then maybe we have a chance." Brittany looks up at him, her husband, the man she betrayed. "I'm serious," she says. "Whatever it takes." "Then we start tomorrow, family meeting, you, me, the kids." His voice hardens. "You're going to tell them what happened, not all the details, they're too young, but enough. They deserve to understand why their family fell apart." Brittany's stomach drops. "Patrick, that's the first test." He picks up the phone with her recordings. "If you can't be honest with them, you can't be honest with me, and if you can't be honest with me, this is over." She takes a breath, nods. "Okay, tomorrow." The kitchen table has 4 chairs. Patrick sits at the head. Danny and Lily on either side. Brittany across from Patrick, hands clasped in front of her like a penitent at confession. Danny won't look at her. He's been angry since she moved out, silent, sullen, slamming doors. Lily keeps glancing between her parents, confused and scared. "I asked your mom to come today because we need to talk," Patrick begins. "As a family, about what's been happening." "We know what's been happening," Danny mutters. "Mom cheated." The word hangs in the air. Lily's eyes go wide. Brittany flinches. "Danny, don't." Danny finally looks at her. His eyes are red. "I saw you at the restaurant with that guy holding hands." Patrick holds up a hand. "Let your mom talk." Brittany takes a shaky breath. "You're right, Danny. I did something wrong. I hurt your dad and I hurt this family, and I'm so sorry." "Why?" Lily's voice is small. "Why did you do it?" "Because I made a mistake." Brittany's eyes fill with tears. "I was tired and sad, and someone came along and made me feel special, and I forgot that I already had people who loved me." "That's a dumb reason," Danny says. "You're right, it is." Brittany wipes her eyes. "There's no good reason for what I did. I'm not going to make excuses. I just want you to know that I'm sorry, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it right." Danny crosses his arms. "How?" Patrick leans forward. "There's something else you need to understand. What happened to your mom, it wasn't completely random." Both kids look at him. "There's a man at my work named Devin. He was angry at me because of something that happened on the job." Patrick chooses his words carefully. "So he paid someone to cause problems for our family. The man your mom was with, he was part of that plan." Lily's brow furrows. "Someone made Mom do it." "No, sweetie." Brittany's voice is firm. "Nobody made me do anything. I made my own choices, but these men, they set a trap. And I walked into it." "So it's like she got tricked?" Danny asks Patrick. "Partly, but being tricked doesn't mean you're not responsible for what you do." Patrick meets his son's eyes. "Your mom made bad decisions, but she's also a victim of people who wanted to hurt our family. Both things can be true." Danny is quiet for a long moment, processing. "Is the guy gone?" he asks finally. The one Mom was with. He's gone, and he's in trouble with the police. Good, Danny's jaw tightens. I hope he goes to jail. He might. Patrick looks at Brittany. Your mom helped make sure of that. Lily reaches across the table and takes Brittany's hand. Are you coming home, Mommy? Brittany squeezes her daughter's fingers. Yes, baby, I'm coming home. But things are going to be different, Patrick adds. Your mom is going to be living in the basement apartment for a while, not as a punishment, just so we can figure things out slowly. Like a timeout? Lily asks. Patrick almost smiles. Something like that. Danny looks at his mother. The anger in his eyes hasn't faded entirely, but something else is there now, something like cautious hope. Are you going to stay? He asks. For real this time? Brittany meets his gaze. I'm going to stay, and I'm going to prove to all of you that I can be the mom you deserve. Promise? I promise. Danny nods slowly. He doesn't hug her, doesn't say he forgives her, but he doesn't leave the table either. For now, that's enough. 2 days later, Devin Price is terminated. Linda Chen delivers the news in a conference room. Security is present, so is a representative from the company's legal department. Based on our investigation, we've determined that your conduct violated multiple company policies, Linda says. Harassment of a coworker, misuse of company resources, sharing confidential information with outside parties. Devin sits rigid in his chair. This is a mistake. Patrick O'Donnell has been out to get me since. Mr. Price. The legal rep cuts him off. We have documentation linking you to payments made to Brian Caldwell. We have witness statements. We have a paper trail provided by a postal inspector. He slides a folder across the table. Your employment is terminated effective immediately. Additionally, we're referring the matter to local law enforcement for potential criminal charges. Criminal charges? Devin's voice cracks. For what? Conspiracy to commit harassment, potential fraud. Linda's expression is stone. You helped orchestrate a scheme to destroy a coworker's marriage, Mr. Price. That has consequences. Devin's face goes gray. I want my lawyer. That's your right, the legal rep stands. Security will escort you to your vehicle. You are not to contact any Kellerman employees, including Mr. O'Donnell, under any circumstances. Devin is led out of the building. Patrick watches from the quality control floor, keeping his face neutral. Cole texts him an hour later. Heard Devin got walked out. You okay? Patrick types back, better than okay. Justice isn't always fast, but it comes. What about the wife? Patrick looks out the window at the gray Detroit sky. We're working on it. That night, Brittany moves into the basement apartment. It's not much. A single room with a bathroom, a small kitchen area, a futon that folds out into a bed. Patrick converted it years ago for when his mother visited. Now it's where his wife lives. Brittany sets down her suitcase and looks around. It's fine, really. It's temporary. Patrick stands in the doorway. The goal is to work towards something better, but that takes time. I know, she turns to face him. What are the rules? No contact with Brian, obviously. Done. Therapy every week. Non-negotiable. Already scheduled my first appointment. Phone open. Anytime I ask, you show me everything. No deletions, no hidden apps. Brittany pulls out her phone and hands it to him. Take it now if you want. Patrick doesn't take it. I don't want to be your warden, Brittany. I want to be your husband again, but trust is earned, and you're starting from zero. I understand. One more thing. Patrick's voice softens. The kids come first, always. Whatever happens between us, they don't suffer for it. Agreed. They stand in the basement, separated by 3 feet and 15 years of history. I'm going to be better, Brittany says quietly. I know you don't believe me yet, but I'm going to show you. That's all I'm asking. Patrick turns and walks up the stairs. The door closes behind him. Brittany sits on the futon and stares at the bare walls. This is rock bottom. This is what betrayal costs. But it's also a beginning, a chance to rebuild what she destroyed. She pulls out her phone and texts Kimberly, I'm home, starting over. Thank you for not giving up on me. The response comes immediately. That's what friends are for. Now do the work. Brittany sets down the phone and closes her eyes. Tomorrow, the real work begins. 3 months pass. Winter melts into spring. The gray Detroit skies give way to pale blue. Life continues, not the same as before, but moving forward. Brittany goes to therapy every Tuesday. She talks about her childhood, her exhaustion, her need for validation. She learns words for things she never had language for: codependency, emotional neglect, attachment patterns. It doesn't excuse what she did, but it helps her understand why. She works her shifts at Detroit EMS. Aaron forgave her slowly, cautiously, and they're rebuilding their friendship one awkward coffee break at a time. She parents, really parents, shows up for Danny's basketball games. Helps Lily with her homework, makes dinner 3 nights a week even when she's exhausted. Patrick watches, documents, waits. In April, Brian Caldwell's case goes to court. Courtney covers the proceedings for the Metro Detroit Chronicle. The charges are fraud, harassment, and violation of pie licensing regulations. 7 women testify about his pattern of manipulation. 3 provide financial records showing money he extracted under false pretenses. Brian pleads no contest to avoid trial. He loses his pie license permanently. He's ordered to pay restitution. He's banned from contact with all victims, including Brittany. No prison time, the charges weren't severe enough. But his reputation is destroyed. His business is finished. And every woman he targeted knows his name, his face, his methods. Patrick reads the verdict in the newspaper. It's not the dramatic punishment some people might want. No vigilante justice, no violent confrontation, but it's enough. Brian Caldwell will never do this to another family again. In May, Patrick and Brittany start couples counseling. Dr. Roberta Williams is 53, soft-spoken, and brutally honest. Her office smells like lavender and old books. "Why are you here?" she asks during their first session. Patrick goes first. "Because I want to know if this marriage can be saved or if I'm just delaying the inevitable." "And you?" Dr. Williams looks at Brittany. "Because I broke something precious," Brittany says. "And I need to know if it can be fixed or if I killed it for good." Dr. Williams nods. "Those are honest answers. Let's work with that." The sessions are hard, harder than Brittany expected. They talk about the affair, about the lies, about the months of deception that preceded Brian and the years of disconnection that made her vulnerable. Patrick admits things too. That he stopped seeing Brittany as a person somewhere along the way. That he was so focused on providing for the family that he forgot to be present in it. "I'm not blaming you for what she did," Dr. Williams clarifies. "Her choices were her own, but marriages don't exist in a vacuum. If you want to rebuild this one, you both need to understand what was broken before the affair. It's painful. It's necessary. It's the only way forward." One night in late May, Patrick gets a call from Courtney. "I have something you should know," she says, "about how Brian found your wife." "I already know. Devin fed him information." "Right, but there's more." Courtney pauses. "Remember the invitation you found on your windshield, the one that started everything?" Patrick's grip tightens on the phone. "What about it?" "It wasn't random. Devin put it there." Silence. "Angel traced the Poe box records further back," Courtney continues. "Devin bought those gala tickets months ago. He planned the whole thing, the invitation, the seating chart, everything. He even coordinated with Brian to make sure your wife ended up at that specific table." Patrick feels the room spin slightly. "He planned it from the beginning. From day one, the invitation wasn't a gift. It was the first move in a chess game. Devin wanted to humiliate you, destroy your family, make you so miserable you'd quit and he could have your job." Patrick thinks about that night. The mysterious envelope, the sticky note, "Enjoy your big night." He spent months wondering why, wondering what he did wrong. Wondering if he could have stopped it if he'd been smarter, more attentive, more something. Now he knows it was never about him, not really. It was about Devin's wounded ego and Brian's predatory instincts and a plan designed to destroy him from the inside out. "Patrick," Courtney's voice cuts through. "You okay?" "Yeah," he exhales slowly. "Actually, I think I am." "What are you going to do with this information?" Patrick looks out the window. The sun is setting over Detroit, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. "Nothing," he says. "It doesn't change anything, but it helps me stop blaming myself." That night, Patrick tells Brittany what he learned. They're sitting on the back porch. The kids are asleep. The neighborhood is quiet. "The invitation was Devin," he says. "The whole thing was a setup from the start." Brittany is silent for a long moment. "So I never stood a chance." "You had a chance. We all have choices." Patrick looks at her. "But you were targeted by professionals. That doesn't make you innocent. It makes you human." "I still did it. I still chose him over you." "Yes, you did." Patrick doesn't soften the words. "But you also chose to come back, to fight for this family, to do the work." Brittany's eyes fill with tears. "Do you think we can make it?" Patrick doesn't answer right away. He thinks about the past 6 months, the betrayal, the pain, the slow, grinding work of rebuilding trust one day at a time. "I don't know," he says honestly. but I'm willing to find out. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small piece of paper, hands it to her. Brittany unfolds it. Her breath catches. It's a simple statement, handwritten, 1 year of truth, 1 year of rebuilding, then we decide. I'm not promising forever, Patrick says. I can't do that yet, but I'm promising to try for 1 year starting now. Brittany reads the words again and again. What happens after the year? We evaluate together, see if what we're building is worth keeping. Patrick meets her eyes. But here's the deal, it has to be real, no more lies, no more secrets, complete transparency, both directions. Both directions? I wasn't perfect either, I checked out, I stopped seeing you. Patrick's voice cracks slightly. I'm not taking blame for what you did. But I'm taking responsibility for what I didn't do. We fix this together or we don't fix it at all. Brittany folds the paper carefully, holds it against her chest. 1 year, she says. 1 year. She looks at him, this man she's known for half her life. The man she betrayed, the man who's offering her something she doesn't deserve, another chance. I won't waste it, she says. I promise. Patrick doesn't hug her, doesn't kiss her. They're not there yet, but he takes her hand, holds it in the darkness. And for the first time in months, something feels possible. Upstairs, Danny lies awake in his bed. He heard his parents talking on the porch, couldn't make out the words, but he could hear the tone. Serious, careful, hopeful. He thinks about the past few months, the anger, the confusion, the fear that everything was falling apart forever. His mom made a terrible mistake. He knows that. He's not ready to fully forgive her yet, but she's here. She's trying. She's showing up every day, doing the work, proving that she means what she says. And his dad is the strongest person Danny knows. Strong enough to set boundaries, strong enough to protect the family. Strong enough to give someone a second chance even when they don't deserve it. Danny rolls over and looks out the window. The moon is bright. The neighborhood is quiet. Tomorrow his mom will make breakfast. His dad will drive him to basketball practice. Lily will chatter about her friends and her drawings and whatever 8-year-olds chatter about. It's not the family they had before. But maybe it's the family they're becoming. Maybe that's enough. In the basement apartment, Brittany unfolds the piece of paper one more time. 1 year of truth. 1 year of rebuilding. Then we decide. She traces Patrick's handwriting with her finger. Each word is a promise. Each word is a test. She thinks about the woman she was a year ago. Exhausted. Invisible. Desperate for someone to see her. Brian saw her. And he used what he saw to destroy everything she loved. But Patrick sees her too, sees the worst of her, the lies, the betrayal, the weakness, and still offers her a path back, not forgiveness, not absolution, just opportunity. Brittany folds the paper and places it in her wallet next to the photos of her children. 1 year. 365 days to prove she's worth keeping. She turns off the light and closes her eyes. Tomorrow the work continues. Outside, the Detroit night settles into silence. Streetlights flicker on the empty roads. A distant siren wails and fades. The city breathes, exhales, sleeps. In a small house on a quiet street, a family that almost shattered begins the slow work of healing. It won't be easy, it won't be quick. There will be setbacks and arguments and moments when giving up seems like the only option. But they'll keep trying, because that's what families do. And somewhere in the rubble of what was destroyed, something new is taking root, something fragile, something real, something worth fighting for.